Walt Disney World, a place I've considered my home away from home. Having visited it often as a child, it was exciting to come back and visit again. But have the parks kept their magic and spark since those years since gone? That's a question I wanted to answer myself on this trip to Disney World in 2024. From a glance, so many parts of this place that I once knew has changed since I was last here. From shows to dining, Disney Springs to shopping, everything feels different. So join me for a ride as we explore the 4 different theme parks Walt Disney has to offer. To start, we had to get there first. Flying out of Toronto, Canada, all the way to Orlando, Florida was quite the journey, but I'd say everything went pretty well, all things considered, so please enjoy this montage. Before we hit the parks, we wanted to take advantage of some USA exclusive stores like Target and the premium outlets no longer in Canada. So we visited places here like Target and the premium outlets themselves over here. They were gorgeous as ever in the Florida landscape, especially from a place that's snowy for half the year. I even got this tropical mango lemonade. Afterwards, we drove back to Disney Springs with some, only just a few purchases. For dinner, we went to Joe's Crab Shack where my pasta had 3 tiny shrimp and way too much cream. On our way back, we got to see some fireworks from the Epcot park that we'd definitely see again later on this trip. After some unwinding at the resort, we readied ourselves for the first park day come the morning. Epcot is an amazing park that we were allowed to enter 30 minutes early thanks to our staying at a Disney resort status. All the decor around was celebrating the Flower and Garden Festival. It was truly gorgeous to see this wonderful place again. But to start, I had one goal in mind. Frozen Ever After is a ride that notoriously gets indefinitely busy lines, so I had to run to see if I can get on before the massive crowds. So yeah, that didn't work, but my running did allow us to see each of Epcot's World Showcase pavilions while they were all still empty. Bar a few cast members, basically no one was inside, which made for a really surreal experience. Seeing all the architecture that was built for Epcot Park without the extreme clumps of guests was refreshing for once. Except the Morocco Pavilion. With the renovations going on, it was literally devoid of anyone. Not even cast members at all, which was really, really bizarre. Like, where is everyone? The rest of the pavilions were beautiful as well, but once we finished the circuit of France, from the United Kingdom and Canada, it was time to head back to the Future World section of the park. Starting off as the motion simulator ride Mission Space, an intense G-force simulator that I could not film on, but just kind of imagine space. Next was Test Track, the speedy car ride that for some reason didn't have its usual narration. Like it was just kind of devoid of sound. Disney, fix your rides, please. Okay, look, so far not a great start for Epcot's rides. I know I seem kinda negative right now, but I can safely say the atmosphere always delivers. From the performances, the landscaping, even this beautiful monorail track, different events at each pavilion, it's hard not to be immersed into what Epcot has to offer. Soon after, we made our way over to the Morocco Pavilions, which would sample some Mediterranean small plates at the Spice Road table. We then took the ferry back towards Future World to get an absolutely gorgeous view of the area. Another ride we explored was the Grand Fiesta Tour, all within the Mexico Pavilion. Charming boat ride with some very, very, very loud music. On the opposite end was Spaceship Earth, an in-depth look at humanity's development of communication and history. By far one of my favorite rides, absolutely. Although my photo at the end I could say I was a little, unprepared for, to say the least. After our day at Epcot, we explored the shopping and dining district of Disney Springs. Everything about this place feels like it's been changed over the years, yet somehow still the same. It's still a wonderful vibe overall. We dined at the Boathouse restaurant and I had this cherry limeade and shrimp boil that was heavy but nonetheless we press on. Exploring the place at night really gives it the great reputation it deserves. Everyone's having a great time, giving even more money to Disney's rampant regime, especially the merch stores, but all in all a great day that left us ready for tomorrow. Taking the monorail bright and early brought us to by far the most popular park at Disney World, the legendary Magic Kingdom. Walking through Main Street into Cinderella Castle is an iconic Disney moment that we breeze through in order to get to another, usually packed ride called Peter Pan's Flight, and I know the footage isn't great, but take it from me when I say this ride is really overrated. Next was It's a Small World, another boat ride that has cemented itself in Disney history despite its problematic history of cultural stereotyping. Despite all that, the ride got stuck at the end, so that's fun. Moving on to Tomorrowland was Space Mountain, a thrilling dark coaster with twists and turns that, again, I do not have footage of because even if I did, it would just be darkness. One of the newer attractions, Trot Light Cycle Run, has a unique car system where you're literally straddling a motorbike seat as you blast forward. I'd say it's a great ride for sure, but this section here that I'm showing you now is practically one half of the entire ride. Another Tomorrowland staple is Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin, where as the name implies, you Space Ranger and you spin. The ride got stuck for a while, which feels normal at this point. To be honest, I remember being better at this game when I was younger, but I did beat my brother's score, so it wasn't all for nothing. One marching band performance later, we ventured into Adventureland, where we had a nice lunch and set sail for Pirates of the Caribbean. A truly impressive auto-animatronic boat ride that's always a nice time, especially after eating, not like some crazy Disney coaster or something that's right next door.
What may I offer for these hearty heads?
The next calm attraction was the Enchanted Tiki Room, filled with singing birds that may have slightly stereotypical accents. Leaving Adventureland for the Great Frontierland, we can see the vision of what's soon to replace Splash Mountain. For now, we trekked onwards towards the main coaster of the park, Big Thunder Mountain. With lots of prospect there and old-timey theming, this one almost never disappoints. We stopped to have a lemonade slushie and even got to catch the best part of the parade, a very intricate Maleficent float that's totally not dangerous and won't set anything on fire. Now, since we were pretty tired at this point, we thought it best to take a trip on the Walt Disney World Railway to see its iconic sights. While the train itself is pretty cool, the footage you're seeing now is probably the most interesting parts, which actually means the sights are not actually that iconic. It's pretty tame, I'd say. What is interesting to me, at least, is one of my favorite attractions in the park, the Carousel of Progress. While the summit may seem like the train, an overly long, somewhat dated, overrated show about human progress, I look at this attraction with a fondness that I can't even explain properly. The charming song, the animatronics that still look good today, and references about time periods that I finally understand now that I'm older. Truly one of my favorite attractions, and just, it has a special place in my heart. Another attraction special to me despite its simplicity is the Tomorrowland People Mover, a gentle ride through the Tomorrowland section that just brings a new sense of hope and nostalgia. Close to the end of our day, we had dinner at Tony's Town Square, based on the Lady and the Tramp movie. I had this shrimp scampi that was just perfect before we made our way towards the Haunted Mansion, another classic attraction.
Or is it your imagination? And consider this dismaying observation.
Let there be music from regions beyond.
With all the special effects that hold up even to this day, I can't say enough how its cult following is very well earned. A dark ride, however, that doesn't feel as timeless is Ariel's Undersea Adventure. It's a standard storytelling ride that summarizes the plot of the movie, and it's filled with songs that I can't play for copyright reasons, so please enjoy this set of dancing animatronics definitely vibing along to music that is playing during the ride. To finish off the night, we lined up for our spot at the Magic Kingdom fireworks, and I'll let the footage show for itself just how magical it was. The magic, however, breaks when everyone tries to leave the park at once, but it still was an amazing day at Magic Kingdom. We didn't go to a park today because we instead took the 1-hour drive east to Cocoa Beach, the coast on Port Canaveral. This day was all about relaxation and enjoying the summer heat. But our first pit stop was at Peacock Beach, where we saw many of them just hanging out. It felt quite foreign to us at the time, as we've usually only seen them at zoos. For some reason, there's also an absolutely massive Ron Jon surf shop just outside the beach. I mean, like, I guess you get the equipment, but it seems excessive. After the store, we finally made it to the pier, to the beach itself. Cocoa Beach was really nice and a great break from the dense city life of day to day. We simply got to take in the sights, go in the ocean, and enjoy the heat. A wonderful time all around. On our way up the pier to lunch, we got to catch in some even more beautiful views, and thankfully, unlike normally Florida, it's not raining. It's a 50-50 at that point. I saw on the menu there was alligator, and I had to try it since we don't get that at home. To be honest, it just kinda tastes like wet chicken. Lunch aside, we had to decide what was next for us during the day, but first we found this sign that even pointed out Canada, so yeah. A short walk brought us to a mini golfing place called Golf and Gator. As the name implies, they have golf and also live alligators like a zoo, although the living conditions being so close to the golf course seems like a lawsuit and a half. They had a go-kart track, and to promote it, for some reason they have just a Mario guy just like standing in this plane. The rest of the course was fairly basic, but that was made up for by the absolutely stunning visuals on its terrain. Like waterfalls and emerald green water, truly a sight to behold. So would I come back to Cocoa Beach? Maybe someday, but the whole drive just for like beach just feels a bit much at that point. On our way back, we got some drinks, and we just took the trek all the way back to Disney Springs for dinner that night. The restaurant we decided on our reservation to be is Jaleo, a Spanish tapas place that were absolutely amazing all things considered. I even got to take some nice photos before we readied ourselves for tomorrow's agenda. Here we are, one of my favorite parks, Animal Kingdom. By that I mean it's my least favorite one because we didn't go. It has 7 rides and is a glorified zoo. Oh gee, we have to go back to Epcot, what a shame. We got to cover certain attractions that we missed last time, like soaring around the world. It's a flight simulator across different parts of the world, and as you can see, people's feet just dangling half the time, but it's still a pleasant experience overall regardless. The big new attraction at Epcot, however, was Guardians of the Galaxy's Cosmic Rewind, a wild dark coaster that plays more copyrighted music, so I can't show you, sorry, but what I can show you is the Seas exhibit with Nemo and Friends, follows Ariel's example, and the basic sections of the associated movie. But at least this one is an aquarium as well, so lots of different sea life as one of the largest aquariums in the USA. I really only vaguely remembered this from when I was small, but seeing it again was great. There's even Nemo and Marlin, look at them. An attraction I haven't seen before is Moana's Way of Water, an interactive walkthrough where people can very gracefully activate sensors to blast water around. It also tells people to conserve water while also having them blast water around, so a bit of mixed signals there. After that, we found Living with the Land, another nice boat ride through various plants that I'm assuming are real and not staged props, but it was very cool to see the history of farming and agriculture through this attraction. Speaking of stage, here's the Imagination Pavilion with Figment, which I can't accurately describe in words, so I'll let Figment just show you.
Can control the eyes of the imagination. Let's begin by using the eye chart to test your vision. Now, all together, if you would please read line 3 and hit.
With L-I-G-M-E-N-T, you can see things differently. The real open house. Come on in.
So, as you can plainly see, imagination works the best when it's set free.
You said it, Doc. Imagination is a blast.
Following that, Via Napoli is our favorite restaurant at Epcot Park, and its Italian-sourced ingredients make for the perfect spot. However, what's not so perfect is this heinous attraction, Frozen Ever After. It's a 40-minute wait that gets extended to a full 80-plus minute one. The line infrastructure and loading zones for that people to handle every entire time. The original ride is long capacity for a small demand, and Frozen races in one business day at a time. Despite being 83 minutes, this was the worst line ever. The worst part is that I can't even show you the ride that much either because it's just full of copyrighted songs much like Ariel's Undersea Adventure. It's basically just a run-through of the movie through different aspects with discolor projections, which is kinda strange, I'll be honest. Feeling deflated after our frozen encounter, we decided to have our dinner at La Hacienda, a restaurant at the Mexico Pavilion, where our family ordered a much too large seafood plate. We did manage to finish most of it, but it still was a lot of food. After dinner, we made our way towards Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in the France Pavilion. With wonderful decorations similar to the movie, everyone was ready for one final ride, except in classic Disney fashion, the ride shut down while we were in line. The ride breaking down did give us a perfect opportunity to prepare for our spot for the fireworks behind this massive tree, and for the Illuminous The Symphony of Us. The show was simply stunning, and we left the park in awe of the shining lights that gave us a beacon to look forward to when we eventually returned to the park. Our final park was Hollywood Studios, a time capsule of an age since gone, and by that I mean a place where Star Wars stuff is now. Rise of the Resistance is their main immersive experience, and it really does sell it well. Lots of unique set work that make for a true Star Wars adventure for any Star Wars fan.
The Resistance prisoners.
You have what I want. You know the location of the secret base.
Even in Galaxy's Edge itself, the set work is truly immaculate and so much attention to detail. On the train of Disney-owned franchises, Toy Story Land is a kid's playground, and by that I mean literally everything is a toy. The best attraction in the area by a landslide is Toy Story Midway Mania, a dark ride arcade shooter in 3D, and so sorry it looks funky on your end, but I did worse than usual and the result is me losing to my brother's score. Guess it's revenge for Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin, I suppose. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway took the great movie ride away from me, which I can never forgive. The ride itself is okay at best. It really does feel like I'm watching the cartoons on TV, which is the point, but I don't know, it feels like something's missing, especially for something that's supposed to be this big cornerstone attraction.
Told you nothing was gonna go wrong.
Back to more Star Wars with Star Tours, a motion simulator that I can't show, but just kind of imagine a Star Wars ship flying simulator and you get the picture. Another favorite attraction of mine. Speaking of another older attraction, we moved to our less popular one, the Muppets. Muppet Vision 3D is the only thing keeping this area from being bulldozed by Disney and putting something like Frozen here, but hey, at least here's Gonzo dancing.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome, thank you.
This area is so poorly taken care of, even the main store is closed, but I digress. We made our ways back to Galaxy's Edge where I had an absolutely delicious pork rib and a very underwhelming drink to complement it. Taking a break from more Star Wars, we had to walk through more Star Wars to get to Walt Disney's One Man's Dream, a museum of Walt's original animation and theme park concept, which always felt special to see as a kid, and even now knowing the actual historical context makes me feel really warm inside. Back to Star Wars with Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, the line is usually very themed, but the single rider line looked like this. At least we got on the ride pretty quick, although my fellow crew members did not know what to do.
You harpooned that precious cargo.
Pilot on the left. Move your stick to fly right and left.
After walking through yet another section of Star Wars, we saw some merchandise that was severely overpriced for really what you're selling for. That's Disney for you. We went to our reservation at the specialty Oga's Cantina. It's a fun time for Star Wars nerds alike, including the very intricate carbon-free drink which each of us got. Look, it's time for another 80-minute wait! Slinky Dog Dash is the Frozen of Hollywood Studios as literally everyone wants to go on it. Although it felt like it moved faster thanks to higher capacity, it's a fun coaster, but nothing to get over the top magical about. The last attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios we needed to hit was Alien Swirling Saucers, and yep, you do swirl these saucers. Finally, we ended the day at Woody's Rodeo Barbecue with absolutely massive portions that just kept coming. After that gargantuan feast, we walked back and ended our time here at Walt Disney World. And so that's the end of our trip. We flew back home to Canada, and this was truly a vacation I needed. I'm forever blessed to be able to travel in the first place, and I hope I'll be able to share more travel adventures with you all in the future.